very good at cook, in cleaning. Also, I will serve you.
Oh my God, get out of here, sis, with that. Over here in the West, we don't play that, okay? We're strong, independent queens who don't need no man. What you talking about serving?
I could offer my whole self. No secrets and all. Loyalty, faithfulness, everything that could make him happy.
You ever hear a Western woman talking about how she's gonna make her man happy? No. You know what we hear from the West? What a man can do to make me happy. What a man can bring to the table for me. What I can benefit. How I could spend his money.
Western women aren't mad because men are traveling. They're mad because men left the market entirely.
My take on passport bros as an American who's lived in the Philippines for 2 years is that most Filipino women who are dating foreigners, they know English very well. They're smart. They're not uneducated. They definitely know what's going to happen and what's going on, and they know the expectations of what a possible marriage might entail. The part where I get a little worried is I've seen a lot of passport bros be, first of all, predators as young as 13 years old. And second of all, they seem very, very hurt and just like really jaded towards American women and kind of controlling and just really aggressive. So that would be something to consider as well if you want that type of personality as a partner. And also, when people move to the US, they have a foreign spouse. Sometimes, not always, sometimes that foreign spouse is isolated, doesn't have very good connection. So if anything were to be bad or if they would need any help, I'm just worried that some people might not have the resources to get the appropriate help or support or community they need. But I don't care who you guys marry, if it's a foreigner or not. Obviously, I'm married to a foreigner myself. But I think there are just some parts to be cautious about. And then also just remember, a lot of American women have had really bad experiences with men. So when they see like that kind of rough personality go into another country and having a woman there, they might just be a little upset or triggered because they don't want women to experience things that they have also experienced. So that's my take.
Passport bros didn't ask permission. They didn't argue. They didn't try to fix dating culture. They simply looked at the cost, looked at the return, and booked a flight. And nothing triggers outrage faster than men discovering they have options outside the system that told them they had none.
Passport bros be like, I got my passport now, I am escaping Western women. I'll find my soft and feminine woman somewhere in Latvia or Colombia. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're a little too late to the game. Hear me out. Feminism and abundance are global now. They have changed everything. Attractive women don't need men anywhere. And less attractive women, they pursue career and education, and they also don't want a man. So nowadays, men go overseas chasing this fantasy that they're gonna find this soft, feminine woman, but oftentimes, it's just honeypot. As someone from Eastern Europe, look, I've watched women aggressively pursue Western men, not for love, for strategy. Some of them will absolutely destroy families to secure that future. And the scary part, the man thinks he's winning until reality hits. Here's the truth. A woman who gives you extreme highs usually gives you extreme lows. That's not love, that's chaos. The woman worth marrying brings you peace. So guys, if you truly want to find a good woman, go to church. Join your community. Stop outsourcing values to foreign countries. You'll be shocked, but your future wife probably lives closer than you think.
4 years, men were told to accept less. Less cooperation, less appreciation, less femininity, while being expected to bring more. More money, more patience, more tolerance, more silence. Meanwhile, disrespect was rebranded as empowerment, and standards only flowed one direction. So when men realized they could be valued elsewhere without constant negotiation, the decision wasn't emotional. It was practical.
But black women mainly is the issue that they have. Because black women are the ones that are speaking up the most, pushing back against their disrespect, their misogyny, their patriarchal ways, their behaviors, their attitudes. But more importantly, do you not think it's a problem with each individual person, man, in these passport bros thing, that they have a problem with every race, every nationality, and every ethnicity in the 50 states and the U.S. territories? Do you not think that there is a problem there? It cannot be women. It has to be an internalized problem. If you have a problem with every nationality, ethnicity, and race in a whole ass country. Because I know that if I have a problem with every nationality, ethnicity, and race, I would be looking inside myself. I would be trying to research and analyze and figure out why I have that problem. That's just me though. For a person to leave a whole country and U.S. territories to go overseas to find somebody that's going to cater to them and how they want to be catered. That's not a problem for us women in the United States. That's their problem. They're the ones with the problem. They're trying, here in the States, in my personal opinion, they want to deal with women that don't want to deal with them. I'm sure there are women here that are into traditional stuff, biblical traditions. There are women, because I've seen videos of women, defending the passport bros. Not a whole lot. I can count on one hand how many, but there are women out here. But many of the women are not into traditional stuff. And if you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to meet somebody halfway, then they're doing the right thing. But why are they bashing women on the way out? That's the thing. That's the whole thing. Why are they talking nonsense on the way out? If you have a passport, just go.
Now the panic sets in. They're insecure. They can't handle strong women. They're exploiting power imbalances. Funny how preference suddenly becomes a moral crime the moment men exercise it. Men didn't suddenly become villains, they just stopped pretending the deal was fair.
So I saw a video about this passport bro guy on Instagram, right? Showing like a little vlog of him taking his girlfriend out on a date. He started off the video by taking out like $80. He was showing how he's spoiling his girlfriend, right? Like he got her like a lash service and like nails. And then he said, oh, I'm gonna test her after I did all this for her, to taking her on a date to 7-Eleven. She's like, oh, I love it. You do so much already for me. And inside the 7-Eleven was like actually like a restaurant, like a club inside. And it was like a cute little club. My thing is, I commented this on my video. I'm like, and also he spent $80 on a date, like $80. Like, come on. And I commented, oh, I get all this from men in the US and Miami. Like, you guys are just broke and don't date beneath your means in the United States. So you guys go to other countries to be able to afford the women that you want to date instead of working hard to afford the women you want to date in the United States, right? As you guys can expect, so many men got mad at me. Are we surprised that they got so emotional? My point is, and you're never gonna change my mind about this, currency for women is looks and beauty, and currency for men is regular currency, like money. The society that men built for us, doesn't matter if a woman doesn't have any money, but if she's pretty, she's gonna be able to get ahead in life, right? But if a man is ugly and he works hard and he has money, he's gonna be able to get ahead in life, like finding a wife. So instead of this man working harder to afford the woman that he wants to have in the United States, he cheapened out. He went the cheap route and then went to another country to find a girlfriend, which is totally fine for him, right? The thing is, the men in the comments were coming at me for saying that I expect this kind of stuff for men in the United States. This girl and I are the same thing. She's expecting nice things too. She expects her man to pay for her lashes, nails, get her flowers, take her on amazing dates. The only difference between her and I, or women in the United States and her, is that these men are able to afford her. They don't have an issue with her wanting those things. They have an issue with the fact that they can't afford it in the United States, but they can cheapen out and do it in other countries. They were calling me all these slurs, saying that I'm an HOE, that I'm a gold digger. When her and I date the same. We date the same type of men that we want providers, do things for us, like taking us to nice dinners, pay for our nails, like take care of us and be a provider. But you guys are mad at me because you can't afford it in the United States, but you are able to do it in Thailand or Vietnam, right? Like $80 is not a lot of money. $80 is what I spent on like a lazy Wednesday night where like my mom and I are like, hey, do you want to go get some tacos and like margaritas or something? And we go and spend $100 on this. Like we're going in sweatpants and like a t-shirt. Like that's like $80 is like, it's not like a big thing. It might be a big thing for you, but for a lot of people in the United States, it's kind of an average, regular meal out. It's not like a big fancy meal. They're not going over there to date women that are working hard and paying 50-50 and they're like manteniéndolos a ellos. They're going over there to do the same things they would do in America, but they can't afford it, so they go to another country to do it. So I don't understand why I'm a gold digger and why women in the United States are gold diggers. They want the same things. It's just that you are able to afford it there and you're not able to afford it here. Imagine if a conventionally unattractive American woman was saying, oh, I can't find a good looking man to want to date me, so I'm gonna go to another country and I'm gonna pay him to go out on dates with me and whatever. You guys would be coming at for that woman saying she can't find nobody in the United States who she can't afford, and because she's not pretty, she's not a conventionally attractive woman. So just admit that you're broke and you guys can't afford to date the types of women you want to date here, because I'm sure there's a lot of women would date you that would probably split bills with you, but that they're not as attractive as you might want them to be. But it's because you're not able to afford really attractive women. So the problem isn't women in the West are asking for too much, is that you're not able to afford it, so you go do the same exact things that women in the West are asking for and do it in a price that you are able to afford. And just admit that women in the West don't have a problem with you doing whatever you want to do, because we're not looking to date broke bums. But just admit that you're doing the same shit you would do if you were actually rich in the United States. You're doing it in another country just because you can't afford it here.
What really stings is that passport bros aren't miserable. They're calm, appreciated, treated like men instead of projects. When a man experiences cooperation instead of constant correction, he doesn't rush back to chaos out of loyalty to a system that failed him.
As a place where men are doing this and they're going there and they're finding success? Or is it just that there's a lot of women there that are looking to marry? Like, what is it about the Philippines?
Well, it's a lot of factors. So the first factor, which is huge, is the fact that every Filipino woman speaks English.
Okay, so you don't have the language barrier.
Exactly. The second one is the fact that there are a lot of American and Western men that are already living there that have found Filipino wives. And because it's a developing country, the cost of living there is extremely inexpensive.
Men didn't leave because they hate Western women. They left because peace, respect, and femininity were available elsewhere, without the lectures.
Hey everyone! So there are things that I observe in my life and I realize that it's time to make a change. If you're someone who I inspired, if you're someone who trusts me, like me, love me, I'm hoping that you could do some changes too. Social media is slowly eating our soul because we are allowing it to distract ourselves. Now, if you allow social media control us, distract us, and manipulate us, you are going to slowly lost in life. And as far as what I notice here on TikTok and YouTube, people are arguing, people are hating on each other, people are always trying to prove a point. And guess what? It is not going to end because we think we are right and therefore they are wrong. Now, for the passport bros, I'm on your side and I'm always be on your side. However, just because I'm on your side, it doesn't mean I like you all. Why? Not all of you are kings. Not all of you are sincere, and not all of you are going to the Philippines to find a quality woman. And to my fellow Asians, especially Filipina, we need to stop proving a point to the people who do not understand our culture. We don't need to react in a negative way towards them. But instead, we need to show them love. We need to show them that we are just different from them. Now, I am not saying that I am a saint because I am guilty of that too. But I realize, guys, that it's overwhelming and it's hurting my heart. And that is why we need to stop proving our points, because it's not only making our health bad, it's also destroying our soul. And for the ladies in the Western world and Europe, you guys need to stop too. I know that not all of you are bad. Just because I am pro passport bro doesn't mean I believe they are good. And just because I don't appreciate women from the Western world who are bringing Filipinas and Asian down, it doesn't mean that all of them are bad. And to my fellow Asians and Filipinas, just because a lot of Western women are bringing us down, it doesn't mean that we are all saints. Because the truth, not all of us are good. Not all of us can cook and can be submissive. Some of these ladies are just as bad as the ladies in the Western world. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, we need to stop this childish behavior. We should be focusing on the good things only. If you're going to the Philippines to look for a quality Filipina, do it. But we need to stop insulting women, doesn't matter who they are, and we need to stop insulting men.
And the harshest part? The anger isn't about love. It's about loss of control. Because once men realize the world is bigger than the dating pool they were confined to, there's no leverage left.
So good morning. So the passport bro business is like, really, people are losing their minds. And a young lady posted a video, and I'm not going to stitch it because everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I'm not trying to, ruffle feathers and get anybody upset. You say what you said. And she appears to be of Asian descent. I'm not 100% sure what. And she's saying that the reason that this is happening is because people are going where they're respected. That's why there's passport bros, that they're not respected, that they're not treated right, and that's why they're choosing this. She is married to an African-American man. And let me say this, the confusion around the passport bros is this. We do not care. What we care about is that you choose to degrade, disrespect, demean the women that brought most of you into this world to justify your reasoning. That's the problem. If you feel that you need to go to Antarctica to marry a polar bear, you don't have to say because black women are this or Caucasian women are that. You don't have to do that. Get a polar bear. But the level of disrespect and complaints and whining that they do to justify their actions is where the problem lies. And when you say that they're going where they're appreciated and that's why they're marrying outside of their race, are you not appreciated in yours? Your race doesn't appreciate you? Is that why you went outside of yours? Because it goes both ways. Stop it. Stop it. Do what you want. If you want to wear heels all day instead of a sneaker, you don't have to bash a sneaker to justify why you're wearing a heel. If you want, to live in Florida instead of New York, you don't got to bash New York to justify living in Florida. Do what you want, whatever makes you happy, but stop making excuses and blaming people for the choices that you make. That's the problem we have with passport bros. We do not care what kind of women you like. We care that you won't keep certain women out your mouth.
The door closes quietly. The flights keep leaving. And the people who spent years telling men they were replaceable are now furious that they were replaced.
What is a passport bro? A passport bro is a man who is done with untitled, ungrateful, high mileage women in the West demanding provider status while offering nothing but an attitude and an OnlyFans link. Done with 50% divorce rates, false accusations, alimony, traps, and child support jails. Done with feminism lies. You're toxic if you want a feminine, loyal, fit, debt-free, low body count. So he grabs his passport, flies to Colombia, Thailand, Philippines, Ukraine, Brazil, anywhere but the US. Places where women still value men. Cook, stay slim, don't weaponize sex, and see marriage as a partnership, not a paycheck. Stats don't lie, my friends. US women initiate 70 to 80% of divorces. 60+% of Western women, 18 to 30, are obese or overweight. The average Western woman, 7+ sexual partners by the age 25, and that's backed by the CDC. 43% of U.S. men under 30 are celibate, rejected, or priced out. Foreign wives, lower divorce rates, higher happiness, traditional values, actual gratitude. Passport bros aren't running, they are upgrading. So I'm with you guys. Smarter, not weaker. West failed the men, so men left. Can't blame them.
What really fuels the anger is that passport bros didn't leave in protest. They left in peace. No debates. No apology tours. No need to convince anyone they were right. They simply disengaged from a market that demanded constant compromise and walked into environments where effort was met with appreciation instead of suspicion. And that calm exit is what hits the hardest.
Can we have a serious conversation about the LBHs, passport bros, like whatever you want to call them? I just don't understand how the most basic level men can leave America, travel to these other countries, and just pull absolute tens, like the hottest girls that you will ever see. And these men, like men that we wouldn't even look twice at, are just pulling them and convincing them to date them. Like, I truly don't understand it. Can someone please explain to me how this is happening and how these men are able to get away with it? Also, like, how can we stop this? It's out of control, and it's getting to a point where it needs to be stopped.
Because when men leave quietly, there's no villain to point at, no meltdown to mock. Just the uncomfortable reality that men compared experiences and chose the one that felt better. That's why the criticism sounds so moralized now. Suddenly it's not about compatibility, it's about ethics, power dynamics, and what men should want. Translation, please come back and play by the old rules.
God, I love it when a passport bro tells me that I'm jealous that American men are leaving the United States and not looking at American women. Because the ones that are leaving the United States to go find themselves a bride overseas are exactly the ones that we never wanted. I mean, and it's really obvious here. There's two really big things that stick out. It's like the emperor's not wearing clothes. Number one, you mean to tell me, sir, you have exhausted all of your dating options, which forces you to go overseas to seek a bride who really is only interested in your American dollars. It's really that bad. You got nothing. Because women, they have options every day. That is the case for all women. All women have options because women are always going to be desired by men. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Number two, and this one is even more obvious. You mean to tell me that you can either put your life substantially on hold to go seek your overseas bride or completely abandon and pack up the life that you have here and start it somewhere else? That tells me a lot about your job, okay? It means that whatever it is that you're doing is not that important and thus not that high paying, okay? Because if you can just quit your job, well, you don't have income coming in. If you can just up and go, that means, you probably don't have a really great work history or work ethic anyway. You are obviously not a business owner because small business owners cannot abandon their business, sometimes not even for a week. Someone who's really dedicated and ambitious, they're not going on long vacations or they're working during they don't have time to go seeking kitty cat in another country. If it is some sort of really important position, they're not taking the time away from their number one love. A man's number one love is his money, and he makes his money from his job. He's not taking the time away from his number one love unless that thing is really not yielding much and is that unimportant.
But men already tasted the alternative. They learned that attraction doesn't require lectures, that respect doesn't have to be negotiated, and that cooperation isn't oppressive, it's peaceful. Once a man experiences being wanted without being resented, He doesn't feel guilty for preferring it. He just adjusts his standards permanently.
Black women do not have a problem with the passport bros. What we have a problem with is on black women as a reason to go over to take advantage of women who are not financially stable. You're going over there to find somebody who's going to treat you like a king in all your mediocrity. Don't blame us for that.
I gotta go off of what I've seen. They cater to you to a T. I know someone that has married someone and brought her over here. It looks like she's out of magazine.
She would be a model over here, right? Do you think if she was born in America, she would be with him?
No, she would not be with him.
Do you know why? Because they're poor. Y'all are taking advantage of these women, blaming us. Black women are this, black women are that, as if we're causing you to take advantage of these women. Leave us the out of it.
So the outrage isn't about men traveling. It's about men realizing their leverage.
Women getting upset about these foreign women talking about, I got your man. Girl, those girls, as soon as they get that visa, they're going to be gone in 24 weeks, if not 3 months. Because guess what? They're going to realize that those guys were discarded and unwanted for a reason. Let these girls get their bag and embarrass themselves. Because they know, trust me, they know they're contributing to the prejudice and the racism of black women. They know. But they'll see. Because once people find out that it was them talking all that shit and they're over here and then they're over here on the struggle bus trying to figure out how to get it together, we're not going to be there for them. Let them do the struggle thing. And listen, these chicks are smarter than what you think. They probably, as soon as they get that visa, they're going to get with some Brad or some dude that is their race, their culture. They're going to get with that guy. They're going to forget all about Terillion and Latravius. Trust me.
A man who knows he has global options can't be boxed in, shamed, or pressured into settling. And that's the real fear. Not that men are leaving, but that they're leaving happier, calmer, and completely unmoved by the noise they left behind.
Say he just started his own business, but he makes $45,000 a year. Would you date him? You wouldn't be able to afford my engagement ring. If you make $45,000 a year, it would take you 4 years. No, 8 years to afford. But how much? I don't know anything about rings. How much is that? About $200,000. Girl, you want a $200,000? Are you insane? My ring has to sparkle from across the street. Like, you have to do that shit. It's good blind people. But like, I'm not a regular girl.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You need to break her ass and shake her ass.
Buy a dog and die alone.
She belongs to the street.
The flights keep boarding. The leverage keeps shrinking. And the silence where men used to argue says everything.
Men stopped playing by the rules. And now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.